Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson, Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty.
It's honest, but again, I want to see them fight. I want to see some aggression. Tank would have that if it was anyone he actually felt was worth it. I just don't know if he thinks Jake's worth it. Again, I get that feeling that he just is there.
Alvarez. Shakur Stevenson has no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Boots is a sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout?
Jake Paul's latest step in preparing for his upcoming fight with Gervonta Davis is bringing in Shakur Stevenson for sparring. According to Paul, Stevenson personally expressed interest in helping out and joining the camp, which adds credibility to his training. Paul also shared that his team has assembled several skilled southpaws, fighters smaller than him but experienced enough to give the right challenges. What caught attention was Stevenson's involvement, as there hadn't been any public connection between the two before. Paul believes that working with Stevenson, along with the other sparring partners, will sharpen his skills as he gets ready for the test against Tank.
Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson, Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty.
Some analysts have questioned the sudden connection between Jake Paul and Shakur Stevenson, describing it as both unusual and suspicious. They point out that Stevenson's move resembles what Jaron "Boots" Ennis did when he assisted Canelo Alvarez in preparation for his fight with Terrence Crawford. The difference, however, is that Boots already had a history with Canelo through family connections, which made that collaboration easier to understand. In contrast, Stevenson has no known personal or professional ties with Paul, which is why some observers believe money may have been a deciding factor. The speculation is that Paul might have offered Stevenson significant financial incentives to join his camp. This has sparked debate over whether Stevenson's choice is driven more by business opportunities than boxing motivation, making the partnership stand out as an unusual alliance between two fighters with no prior association.
Shakur Stevenson reached out to Jake Paul in support of him preparing for Gervonta Davis. Help me understand, what is the difference between Boots Ennis reaching out to Canelo Alvarez in support of his preparation for Terrence Crawford versus Shakur Stevenson reaching out to Jake Paul in preparation for his fight with Gervonta Davis? Tell me, what is the difference? I'll tell you what the difference is. The Ennis family actually had a relationship with Canelo Alvarez. Shakur Stevenson has no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Boots is a sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout? I don't want to hear anything about this fight. It's against a YouTuber, it doesn't matter. No, Shakur Stevenson is an elite level fighter that is going to be a sparring partner to a YouTuber, and he reached out to him directly to make it happen?
Shakur Stevenson has attempted to clarify his position when asked about the upcoming Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis matchup. He explained that if he were in Tank's place, he would look at the situation from two perspectives. From a business standpoint, it makes sense due to the financial rewards and the spotlight such a fight would generate. From a fighter's perspective, however, Stevenson admitted that he personally would not take that kind of bout. His comments highlight the difference between treating boxing as a career-driven business and as pure competition. While some critics argue that his sparring role with Jake Paul raises questions, Stevenson has been open in admitting that financial incentives often play a role in these decisions. He pointed out that modern boxing frequently blurs the line between sporting credibility and entertainment.
Blame a man for taking that opportunity, because this is prize fighting, right? It's about making money and securing your family. Can you fault him for that?
It's two sides of that.
Okay.
It just depends. As a fighter, just because I had a draw with somebody, for me, I may run it back. But in a business aspect, if you run it back and you lose to Lamont, and then the Jake Paul fight is presented, you may not make as much money, or the fight may not be as lucrative as it was before you lost. So as a business, I understand. I ain't gonna hate on the decision, but as a man
Your
and
pride
as
will
a
get in the way.
fighter with my integrity.
Yeah, but isn't there a price for everything, Shakur? Like, even if you had a draw with somebody and you were offered 10 times more than you ever, I don't know what the number is, but it's a lot more than he's ever.
During the official press conference, tensions escalated when Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis came face-to-face. The two fighters ended up shoving each other, which immediately drew strong reactions from fans and media alike. Many analysts, however, believe this confrontation was more strategy than spontaneity. In today's boxing market, heated face-offs and physical exchanges at press events are often staged to generate viral moments and boost pay-per-view interest. The push between Paul and Davis feeds perfectly into the narrative of this matchup, a larger fighter testing his physical presence against a smaller, more skilled opponent, while the smaller man aims to prove that speed and technique can overcome size. This kind of drama ensures that even casual viewers will be intrigued enough to tune in on fight night.
Orthodox matchup, left hand down the pipe. You can even see here, I'm not even trying to do the whole body language breakdown, but you can even see Tank could get under that left hand because he's 5-0. He could roll under that left hand, and here comes the brick hand over the top. If he lands something like that in 10 ounces, I'm going to tell you this. Jake's 200 and something pounds. That's still going to hurt at the very least, and who knows what, because Tank's got ridiculous power. So Jake, a little sloppy on the push there. He got pushed. He wanted to get it back. There's something to be taken away from that, but lines up perfectly for a counter left hand. And you even see his promoter here is kind of grabbing his left hand because Tank wanted to let it fly. And Jake backed up a little bit. He said, oh, and Tank comes with that. Tank, man. Tank said, where I'm from, the bullies get bullied. All right, dude, there you go. Listen, takeaways from this thing, I don't know. Tank seemed to have a little bit more energy today. He seemed to be more lively. Him going back and forth with the media, with Jay Leon, with Jake, with Aiden Ross. There seemed to be a bit more energy today. That's all I really asked for. So in terms of, selling us on something, sure. Better job today from both guys. Jake, seemed a bit more locked in here with Tank as well. They had a little bit more fun. Tank going after Nikisa was pretty funny. But listen, this doesn't change anything in my mind. The 10-ounce gloves doesn't really change anything to me. I mean, again, I think that's a bad idea for Tank, more so because even if Jake doesn't land clean, those are 10-ounce gloves, still going to hurt. Tank is still punching in gloves that are 2 ounces heavier than he normally uses, so I don't know how that's a win for him. The $2 million bet almost certainly won't happen, which I didn't think would in the first place, but Tank pretty much confirmed it. And we're all left with the same kind of idea that we thought about this to begin with. This is an entertainment exhibition that we know is going to draw a ton of eyeballs. I'm going to watch, and there's going to be great high-level competition boxing on the underneath card. And even in the main event, if something is to happen, if someone is to get knocked out, it will go mega viral. And both these
boxing commentator Showbiz, the adult, has expressed a strong opinion on what a Gervonta Davis victory would mean. He argues that if Davis defeats Jake Paul, it would make him a hero to both boxing purists and casual fans. The reasoning is clear. Many people have long wanted to see Paul knocked out, given his rapid rise from social media stardom to headlining boxing events. From this perspective, Davis wouldn't just be winning a fight. He would be delivering a moment that fans have been anticipating for years. Paul's journey has split audiences, bringing in younger supporters while frustrating traditional boxing followers. If Davis secures a knockout, it would cement his reputation as the fighter who humbled Jake Paul, boosting his image both inside the sport and in the wider cultural conversation. This take suggests the fight carries more than sporting value, with Davis symbolizing boxing pride against Paul's entertainment-driven career.
Tank Davis stops that. If he is the one who stops this whole train, knocking out Jake Paul, he will become a boxing hero. People will then say, now get the hell out the sport. And I'm talking about from a fighter's perspective. That's what they're going to say. Now, it's not going to go on either one of their official records because it's an exhibition. But it doesn't matter because optically, visually, seeing that go viral, and I mean go viral, and Jake Paul will never hear the end of it.
We're gonna have to help you up. We're gonna have to help you up.
We're gonna see about it.
Help you up.
We're gonna.
Because Gervonta Tank Davis is not only a real boxer, he's a real boy. He's 5'5". He's a lightweight. Skills pay the bills. Let him knock out Jake Paul, give him Bambi legs, or knock him down. Gervonta Tank Davis, that moment will go viral, and he will be a far bigger, well-known boxer than he is today, and he will also be a hero. And that's the Black Two Sugars. That you guys don't want to admit it. Don't bull jive. Think about it. He will be a boxing hero. It will go viral over and over. It's the same thing. No, not even the same. It's not even close. But there was a viral reaction when AJ knocked out Francis Ngannou.
Anthony Joshua can dispose of the MMA champion.
When AJ knocked out Francis Ngannou in the first round, it was like, now get out.
Former champion and current analyst Timothy Bradley has been direct in his assessment, describing the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis matchup as an easy money fight for Davis. Bradley argues that Tank's skill level and experience against world-class opponents make Paul's challenge look far less threatening. In his view, there is no realistic scenario where Paul could defeat Davis. Instead, Bradley frames the event as a low-risk, high-reward opportunity for Tank. To him, this fight isn't about competitiveness, it's about generating huge revenue for both men while giving Davis a near-certain victory. Bradley's comments highlight a perspective shared by many in the boxing world, that this matchup is less about testing Paul's abilities and more about leveraging his fame to elevate Davis into an even bigger star. His blunt stance underscores the belief that Tank will handle the fight with relative ease while also securing a massive payday. The decision to stage the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight in Florida has only added to the discussion, raising further questions about the business-first approach driving the event.
To say that it ain't fixed, because check this out. Tank ain't gonna lose this fight. Hell no. Hell no. Tank ain't losing this fight. Too many holes. Man, Jake don't have enough experience. Yeah, man, this gonna be taking candy from a baby. You know, Jake is missing the rules. See, this is what happened when you don't grow up in the game. When you don't grow up in the game, man, at a young age, this is what happens. You know, you start reading your own press clippings. That's what Jake is doing. You know, fighting this lower level competition, and now he think he the ish. Now he think he the man. He ain't the man. You kidding me? He is not the man. Oh no, yeah, false sense of security. Now he trying to pick on small folks, right? You know, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah, I'm just saying size-wise. Yeah, that's another thing, boxing one-on-one. You can't pay attention to size. Hell no, I told y'all it's the size of the heart, right? In that damn dog. It ain't the size of the damn dog, and I told y'all that, man. Yeah, it's the same thing here. And it's about the smartest dog. Tank too smart for him. Tank got too much boxing IQ for Jake, man. This gonna be easy. Easy. Like I said, man, Tank, please, man, don't do this to boxing, bro. If there's anything, man, shoot, man, we can put together some kind of like account for you, a GoFundMe.
Analyst Paulie Malignaggi has shared his perspective, suggesting that both the matchup and its location may be part of a broader strategy to turn Gervonta Davis into a mainstream superstar. He believes that if Davis defeats Jake Paul in a major American venue, it would give him exposure to a far wider audience than just boxing purists. Malignaggi noted that while the deeper motives behind the fight remain unclear, the business side is obvious. Jake Paul brings massive crowds and media attention, while Davis brings credibility and explosive talent. Together, they create a formula designed to boost Davis's profile on the biggest stage. Be wise staging the fight in Florida. Promoters ensure easy access for fans, media, and celebrities, making the event highly visible and maximizing its cultural and commercial impact.
Basically a reason why the networks wanted to make Gervonta Davis a star.
But let's look at it. And Robert, I want to ask you this. When you looked at the numbers for Canelo, you know, his fight against Crawford, 41 million viewers. That's what they got. It was the most viewed championship fight of this century. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson got 108 million. It got more than double, significantly more than double. Is it the idea of the streaming services, Netflix, where they're following the numbers, Robert, and that's where the numbers are?
It's what we're coming to, the real fights, the real fights where they deserve to be seen throughout the world are, it's great. They have good numbers, but when you see guys, that are YouTubers, guys that are 60-year-old retired and coming back, and getting 2 times more than what a real fight, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of embarrassing, kind of sad that we're getting there, that we're in that situation, but I also can't blame them, they're all making a lot of money. That's why Tank is doing it. I think it's ridiculous, it's a joke. But I can't go against that either. He's making a lot of money. Jake Paul is doing his thing. Jake Paul is he makes these fights happen and gets the views. So people are tuning in. That's the problem, that people are.
Promoter Nakissa by Darian has drawn attention with his remarks about the rules for the upcoming fight. He confirmed that the bout will use 10-ounce gloves, which is standard for lighter weight classes, but notable given the size difference between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. When asked about the possibility of a rehydration clause, Bidarian declined to comment, leaving open the question of whether Davis will face restrictions on his weight after the official weigh-in. Such clauses can significantly affect a fight, as they limit how much a boxer can regain before stepping into the ring. The lack of clarity has fueled speculation among fans and analysts, with many wondering if Paul's team negotiated conditions to even out the matchup. By keeping certain details undisclosed, the promoters maintain intrigue and ensure both fighters remain under close watch as the event draws near.
95 max weight.
Okay.
10 3-minute rounds.
Okay.
And 12-ounce gloves. And most of you guys know boxing, right? Most of the fights are with 10-ounce gloves. Fighters spar in 16-ounce gloves. 12-ounce and 10-ounce gives you a little bit more safety, which is the key here, given the size difference. But there's a massive experience difference. We will have 3 world-class judges ringside that the commission has approved to ensure there's a rendered decision for the fans. It will not go on their record, but there will be 3 experienced judges, some of the best in the business, giving their view of who won the fight.
So let me just follow up with this then. The Florida statute says that it means an exhibition means a boxing, kickboxing, or mixed martial arts.
You saw the exhibition of Floyd and Logan.
Okay.
So just go with that, and if they weren't trying to hit each other,
Fair
then
enough.
tell me they weren't trying to hit each other.
Think Tank's gonna walk in at 160?
That's up to Tank. What I can tell you is Tank is focused on coming in the best shape of his life. It's not about gaining weight. It's about having the speed advantage.
What can we expect on the undercard? Championship fights?
Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern, we'll announce 5 fights, 4 of which are title fights. So yes, you can expect to see another MVP fully stacked card. No prospects on a big show like this.
What's up?
Yes, go ahead.
So what a matchup is imagined 4 years in the making, how do you mentally and then physically prepare for this matchup of match like
As in, how do the fighters prepare?
You and as well as the fighters train with you as promoter.
I mean, look, we started MVP 4 years ago with a mission to be fighter first, right? And I think like this event is exactly that. We're giving Tank a massive platform and opportunity for the world to see who that young man is. He's misunderstood in many ways, but at heart, he is a great human being who has a family and wants to do big things to make an impact on the sport and take care of his family. So we're excited about that. And in terms of preparing for this, it's no different than Mike Tyson and Taylor Serrano. It's just another big event that's on a global scale.
Keisha, is there a rehydration clause at all?